Hello everyone and welcome to Trend Hero. On this video we're going to see 10 moments where various celebrities have got furious at Ellen's show and stood up to her. Be sure to watch until the very end so you get to see all those incidents. Number 10. Dakota Johnson. Now this one is epic. Dakota Johnson. His is the most famous incident of a celeb of standing up to Ellen. It was shortly after she, Dakota, had hosted her birthday party, one that Ellen did not attend, and she complained to her that she didn't receive an invitation. But Dakota, however, had a twist to that story. She said that not only was Ellen invited, but she also failed to give an apology for not making it to the party. On asking her producers what had happened, they told her that she was out of town. Get this, Ellen couldn't even recall what she was out of town for. Not only did she prove that she doesn't pay any attention to a lot of things, but she also handled the situation with far less tact than expected. This was not new to Dakota, and she stood up to her.
How was the party? I wasn't invited.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited.
Number 9. Wanda Sykes. Interestingly, her fellow comedians are not spared either. Wanda Sykes, a renowned comedy artist, also suffered the same fate in the Ellen DeGeneres show. While on air, she was given a jacket by the host, which she repeatedly insisted wasn't a tour jacket, but Wanda clearly pointed out that it was. In fact, one bearing the details of Ellen's show. She even pointed out that the tour was extremely restricted, and Ellen only ventured out of the zone and had dates in Seattle, San Diego, and San Francisco, but other than that, it was just majorly based in Los Angeles itself. Well, it wasn't very flattering for Ellen, and much as she tried to lay it off as a joke, the cat was already outside of the bag, and the damage already done. Number 8. Katy Perry. Ellen claimed that she and Katy Perry were friends, but she actually forgot that Perry had been married previously to actor and comedian Russell Brand when she came to her show as a guest. Actually, the marriage had ended in a divorce, an incident that formed a very prominent episode of Perry's life. Shockingly, Ellen apparently had absolutely no recollection of the incident whatsoever. As though that was not enough, things became more awkward when Katy Perry further reminded Ellen that she had in fact given her pre-wedding gifts when she had been out to the show for a few days before the wedding. Ellen probably realized that this is certainly not how you treat your friends and apologized, but did that clear things up? No. Number 7. HASAN MINHAJ. HASAN MINHAJ is used to someone pronouncing his name wrong, but he clearly didn't expect it from Ellen, and certainly not more than once at that. When MINHAJ came to the show, Ellen began telling him that she was a fan of his show Patriot Act on Netflix, but it didn't feel like she respected him when she kept on saying his name wrong. She kept mispronouncing MINHAJ as Minaj, and to be honest, no one likes to hear their name pronounced wrong. MINHAJ, however, didn't let go of this opportunity to roast people like Ellen, albeit lightly, who seemingly had trouble in pronouncing names of people of color, but get it right in the case of white people, and it was a deserved burn as people on the show had been accused of racism. Number 6. CORINNE OLYMPIOS. She does not just embarrass, she also intimidates too. Now that is according to CORINNE OLYMPIOS, famous for The Bachelor, who is, or rather was, a great fan of Ellen and has expressed how much she loved Ellen and how excited she was to actually be on the show. Unlike the case of other guests, she wasn't offended or put in an awkward situation while on the show. She did, however, reveal afterwards that she wasn't as starstruck as she was before going on the show. Ellen's general behavior intimidated her, and she came out of the show with a feeling that Ellen was not the person she wanted you to believe she was on the show. She got a taste of what you meet is what you get, and truth be told, these are the views of many. Number 5. GIADA de Laurentiis. See what cooks on this particular episode when GIADA de Laurentiis and Nicole Kidman were guests on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Shocker! It wasn't Ellen who caused the trouble on this one, it was the guests. The ladies were seen making rather complicated dishes that involved rolling up rice balls, among other things. GIADA, who was guiding the others through the process, was being rather harsh on Ellen for not being able to make the rice balls properly and criticized her undeservingly. Much as Ellen pranks and pulls stunts on her guests, that might be inappropriate or in bad humor. She didn't deserve to be talked down on her own show though. Now GIADA has her own show and reportedly does stuff like that, there as well, but she could actually not do that as a guest in the Ellen show. To give her a taste of her own broth, Nicole and Ellen ganged up and insulted the very core of GIADA's expertise, that is cooking, saying the stuff was not good. Talk of a cold dish. Well, GIADA apologized later on, but just like a dish with too much salt, there is no coming back from that one. Number 4. Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake is one of the giants of R&B, no one can deny that. He, however, faced quite an unpleasant situation when he came as a guest in the Ellen DeGeneres show. And who was responsible for the situation? Yes, Ellen herself. While seen to be enjoying herself and both having a good time listening to Justin's songs, there was a sudden drop in the beat when Ellen forgot the lyrics to one of the songs. It was quite embarrassing for her, as she was seen to be trying to get the correct lyrics from the audience and the DJ jokingly. But it was in vain, and no one came to her rescue. Sure, Ellen cannot possibly know all the lyrics to Justin's songs, but she could have taken the time to learn at least the ones that are played in his presence. In that case, Justin wouldn't have felt so offended the way he did. Don't we all agree? Number 3. Michelle Obama. The First Lady also got it firsthand. Michelle Obama has been a guest on Ellen's show, and Ellen took her shopping at a nearby CVS pharmacy, stating that she needed to stay in practice. Well, till then, it was pretty alright, but she seemed to be taking things too far when she began joking about her and the power she had as the First Lady. Michelle wasn't amused by the entire exchange. Trust Ellen to not stop there. She went on to ask her to talk to the authorities in the mint so that her face could be printed on some currency. This was when Michelle snapped back and schooled Ellen that to have your face printed on money, you've got to have done something of historical importance and significance, other than being a First Lady. The entire situation was far too disturbing for the self-respected former First Lady.
The world happy every
should
day.
have freed some slaves. You know, you're really annoying. It's like taking a 3-year-old to the store.
Number 2. Cher. You might think that being a legend or a big name will give you a break on The Ellen Show. Wrong. A perfect example is when Cher, a big name, came as a guest on the show. Ellen had taken her to a beauty salon where the two were seen doing the fans' hair. Cher seemed to have gotten quite into it and was taking it seriously and enjoying it too. Ellen, on the other hand, was not getting anything done and interfered a lot with what Cher was doing. In fact, she started doing karaoke on her songs. That is not that offensive, but she proceeded to use some of the words that couldn't be appreciated. Cher was visibly unamused by Ellen's behavior, and although Ellen tried to play off the entire thing later on during the end and tried to claim that she was best friends with Cher, she certainly did not share that sentiment, and withdrew herself from what was happening. Well, what did Ellen expect? Number 1. Mariah Carey. Talk about being tactless. What an awkward and unpleasant experience it must have been for the legendary Mariah Carey when she made her appearance on The Ellen Show. Ellen had probably heard some gossip of Mariah being pregnant and seemed to be desperate to get her to confirm. It would certainly mean good for the show, however, it wasn't really Ellen's place to force that information out of her. As though that wasn't enough, she took things way too far when she arranged for some wine for Mariah to take on live camera. What nerves! We all know that alcohol is prohibited for pregnant women, and Mariah would have given herself away. This was really taking things too far, and it was quite visibly very uncomfortable for the singer as well. However, Ellen seemed to understand that afterwards, and she tried to play it off. But this can be said without a doubt that this wasn't one of her proudest moments. Go on and click on one of these videos on your screen. See you there!